What are we doing, guys? Jerry Jones just go away, my guy. If you haven't heard the news, Pittsburgh wide receiver George Pickens has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys acquired Pickens on a 2027 sixth round pick for a 2026 third round pick and a 2027 fifth rounder, landing the only receiver in the NFL to average at least 16 yards per reception and have at least 2,000 yards in the last three seasons. That's pretty, I don't give a fuck, okay? The Dallas Cowboys is just one big giant clown circus show. And this is another episode of that. Yes, George Pickens is a diva. In Pittsburgh, he didn't get the ball. He was mad. Big mad. He didn't really have a quarterback. Big Ben, if I think he was still there, was on his last leg. He wasn't as mobile. He wasn't as good as he once was when George Pickens got there. They didn't really have an O-line to protect the quarterback. And then you had Russ and Jordan Fields, and we all know how that turned out. Yeah, I personally think Russ did pretty decent at Pittsburgh, but George Pickens really wasn't a a big producer or a target in that offense. Going to Dallas is going to be pretty much of the same thing. CD Lamb is the number one guy. He's got the contract, he's getting the ball, he's getting it all. George Pickens says right here, I just think schematically you won't be able to double team everybody, so that would be a great thing for me and him. One of you guys are going to be double teamed, the other is going to get open. Well, what happens if you're double teamed and CD Lamb isn't? He's going to get the ball. Then what are you going to do? You're going to be big mad and throw more timber tantrums? This, that, and the third? The O-line needs to protect Dak Prescott, for one, to be able to get the ball. Two, CD Lamb, like I said, is the number one. He's going to get the ball. He's known as like more of a slot guy, more of a hitch receiver, a drag receiver. He's not really known as a big deep threat guy, but that's where you come in, George Pickens. You're fast as fuck, boy, and you're known to get the deep balls. You're the only receiver to have an average of 16 yards per catch in the last three seasons, it says. So that's good. Dak can just chuck it up and you'll be down there somewhere. It'll be like Minnesota. It's going to be like McCarthy throwing to Justin Jefferson this season. He's down there somewhere. Let's go. Now, if that works out for you, awesome. If it works out for the Cowboys, great. I don't foresee this being, something that's going to be like, oh, it's going to take them over the top and they're going to go have a deep playoff run. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. Yeah, do I admit that they're my team? Yes, but I fucking hate them at the same time. So, I don't foresee this being that great of a pickup. For me, it has to be one of those things I have to see it to believe it. If he can control his bitterness, his diva, and all that shit when he's not getting the ball when he thinks he's supposed to, especially in third and twos or fourth and threes, and when CD is supposed to be getting the ball because he's the number one. If he's not getting the ball in those particular moments, or if CD's getting those balls but he's not converting, is he going to throw a timber tantrum and say, no, I should be getting those balls? This, that, how's he going to, I know he says systematically you won't be able to double team but all of us or both of us or whatever. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't foresee this being something that's going to take them over the top to have a deep playoff run. I was talking to somebody at work and he said, well, Pittsburgh didn't have that great of an O line. They had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and he didn't seem to think that they were that good, or they didn't have good seasons. Specifically, Russell Wilson, because he was the main quarterback. But because he's a Cowboys fan, he thinks that this is a good pickup, and I'm just not sold on it, man. Like, I often try to put myself in what I would do and how I would feel in specific situations as a pro athlete. me personally going to a team knowing that they have a number one that's already signed, and I'm on a 1 year deal because I got traded to you. Um, yeah, I'm going to try to prove myself, but that's not necessarily for me to prove to you to sign me to a long deal contract. It's going to be for other teams as well. Because if I don't like it in Dallas, other teams are going to, see the production that I have, and I can go somewhere else. And another thing, he didn't really get in trouble in Pittsburgh outside of football, but Dallas is way much different than what Pittsburgh is off the field. There's so many things different. There's so many things out in the city, and things that he can do where many players in the past have gotten themselves in trouble for. I can't remember off the top of my head, but motherfucker got caught stealing boxers and shit at one of the stores. Not necessarily saying that George Pickens is that type of guy or will do that, but I'm sure they got clubs there. I'm sure they got very pretty women there. I just don't want to see him get caught up in another Shannon Sharp um, fiasco, if you will. So if he can keep his nose, straight, and not, worry about that shit off the field, focus solely on the field issues, and play his part on the team, catch the ball when it's thrown to him, not complain and not be a diva uh, when he doesn't get the ball when he thinks he should get the ball. This could be a good thing. And like I said, the O line's going to have to protect Dak because you got a couple players that retired. Martin retired. I think another one of the O linemen, I think he retired or he got traded or something like that. I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. And I can't remember exactly who they traded with in the draft. I honestly didn't even really pay attention to the Cowboys because, like I said, they're my team. I will admit that, but I don't give a fuck about them because they just piss me off that much. Jerry Jones pisses me off. Just everything about the Cowboys pissed me off. But I have to save face and say that they're my team because I grew up being a Cowboys fan. So how would I look being, you know, just jumping on a bandwagon of Chiefs or Phillies or even the Commanders since they had a really great year, even though I live way closer to them than I do to the Cowboys. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is a good trade, a bad trade, if this is a win for the Cowboys, if this is a win for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if it's a loss for the Cowboys and it's a loss, or if it's a loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have to wait and see what it looks like because even if the Cowboys got Justin Jefferson, that doesn't mean that they're going to win the Super Bowl. That doesn't mean that they're going to go have a deep playoff run. Great players doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go over the top. Justin Jefferson played very, very, very good last season, but they didn't win to the Super Bowl. They didn't even get to the Super Bowl. Why? Because their quarterback played like shit, and there were two games that it meant the most. And we all know Dak Prescott can play his ass off in the regular season, but when it gets to the postseason, he goes ghost. So I have to see it to believe it. And do I like George Pickens coming? Yeah, sure. He's very talented. He's a very good receiver, and he could be a great addition for them. But the diva and off-field potential issues that could arise doesn't have me fully on board. I know the football season is still, a ways away. We're only in May. We still got like 3.5 months before the preseason starts and whatnot. I know OTAs and stuff like that, happen here, in the next couple months or something like that. So I have to wait and see what that looks like and see how he gels, where the chemistry and all that stuff, goes from there into the season. So let me know down in the comments if you guys think this is a good trade or a bad trade. Who won out of this deal, the Steelers or the Cowboys?